25 years of media excellence. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Accra at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrade, and Jubilee FM in Keta. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed App, Digibank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G. Just a touch. In this edition, the crackdown in the lockdown. Police in Accra intensify spot checks as they enforce President's stay-at-home order, asking recalcitrant individuals to just go back home.
We are not shouting about it's like we've been frustrated on the way before.
You will not go.
For their own interest and for the interest of the masses. So people shouldn't have perception that why are they being stopped? Why are they not? They shouldn't complain. They should complain with the police.
We'll bring you the latest from our tour of some checkpoints, and doctors and nurses at Tamale Teaching Hospital quarantined after contact with coronavirus as 10 patients test negative for the virus. We'll find out why the policemen who picked the travelers are worried, and also the sad story of the porridge seller run over and killed by a speeding vehicle while she served customers. Her mother has been speaking.
She's the one who takes care of me. All her brothers are caring for themselves. Today, I asked her to stay home, but she said cocoa sellers are allowed to sell.
An explosion of joy as scores of head porters stopped from trip to Wale Wale receive relief items from NADMO.
I'm truly relieved now. The battle is over. Government has come to our aid.
Details shortly and in sport.
Black Stars coach CK Akono tells home-based players consistency will get them a look in the national team.
And also later in the bulletin, some rap music creating awareness about COVID-19.
When you get to what time 4 days, avoid handshakes in your make a tande or you want to phone you now go day.
Wear your hand gloves, wear your nose mask. As a prime minister, as a press child, now praise them in 50 and a bra child. You only live once.
And our very own Na Ashoko teams up with actor Clemento Suarez on this tune. That's coming up later here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details. Thanks so much for your company. Let's settle for the details now. And the security agencies have today intensified the enforcement of the restrictions imposed by President Akufo-Addo to contain the spread of COVID-19. A good number of Ghanaians have been affected by the restrictions, but some have simply refused to stay at home despite not having any essential activity to undertake. Joy News' Joseph Akable this morning spent some time at the Tesano checkpoint and has come through with his report.
You will not go. That is not the issue. That's not the issue. Somebody was about going to the hospital. What ID card? What ID card?
Atomic community. Atomic. I'm here at Tesano, some few meters away from the police station. It's a police checkpoint where they are enforcing the restrictions that have been imposed by government. Some of the passengers in some of the vehicles had some concerns.
Some of you argue. We are not shouting about it's like we've been frustrated on the way before.
Yes, you have been stopped elsewhere. This is another checkpoint. You should cooperate with the security.
Oh, we are very happy with what you are doing. But the mistake you are doing is that they allow private cars. We've seen private cars that small boys are sitting inside. They don't ask them. But they throw. Unfortunately, we don't have cars. So I have my pass. What you need? Let me come. What you need to do is to at least stop the car and then verify if I have the authority to go. But what they are doing there is they are returning all the cars back. So where am I going to get to Accra?
Private car with people on board. You didn't know the policemen.
They never stopped them. Who were there? They didn't stop them at all. Nobody stopped them.
You are saying it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's okay, but our problem is the double fare that we are paying is our problem. I don't have a problem with what the security is. You came initially and they asked you to go back and you have to come again.
No, it's when we got to New Plan, the car we were coming with, they stopped us. And then those of us who want to continue, they allowed us to cross to the other side. And with my uniform, she asked me to even get closer to one of the military men to assist us. But the problem is, when they stop us, the cars are returned, they don't give us change. So what happened is, as we get back on board, we pay another fare. So the aggressive here is that they are paying double fare, which is the problem to us.
The MTTD commander for the area has been speaking to Joy News, explaining why they had to turn away a number of their drivers and addressing the concerns that were raised by the passengers as well. What's your name, sir?
My name is Emefa Apawu, MTTD commander, Tesano. Those who don't have reasons of moving from one place to another are advised to return to their base. It is our duty to convince them, for them to know what is expected of all of us. It's all about teamwork for their own interest and for the interest of the masses. So people shouldn't have perception that why are they being stopped? Why are they not? They shouldn't complain. They should cooperate with the police and the military for us to help each other. Because we need Ghana is a peaceful country. As Ghana is a peaceful country, we need to maintain that reputation.
You heard there the DSP Abuaje, Tesano MTTD commander, ending Joseph Akable's report. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba has also been out and about in the city. He joins us on the line. Maxwell, where have you been and what can you report?
Well, our first port of call was at the Malam Junction checkpoint, where we observed that there was no screening whatsoever going on for essential service for workers providing essential services. There was no screening whatsoever. So what happens is that when commercial vehicles get to that checkpoint, they are sent back en masse, without any checks for the identity of any essential service provider. So what happens is that sometimes you would find persons who are providing essential services also forced or compelled to get down from the vehicle. Now, when that happens, they would have to continue the journey, sometimes on foot, to Malam Junction itself to get another vehicle that would take them, back. Back at the Weather Toll Booth checkpoint, what we realized was that there was some sort of screening going on, even for security personnel stationed there. They sometimes help persons providing essential services to get another vehicle to continue the journey. But some of the people we've been speaking to are complaining about how inconvenient that is for them. A gentleman I spoke to who started his journey, he said as early as 6 a.m. he left home from Kaswa. Around 8:30 a.m. we met him at the Wager Junction. He still has not got into the hospital where he works as a nurse, and he said that it was because when he got to the Wager toll booth, he had to stop, he had to get down for the screening to be done, and then another vehicle, they had to get another vehicle, for him to continue his journey. When he got to the Malam checkpoint also, he had to get down from the vehicle and then continue the journey to get another vehicle. So he had no choice but to return home. So that is the inconvenience that this is posing to some persons who provide essential services, and they are not happy about the situation, Emefa.
But overall, though, Maxwell, what's the mood in that part of town, the Wejagbawe area?
Well, the Wejagbawe area is it's quite empty. The usual hustle and bustle that you would see in town is conspicuously missing. Some persons I've been speaking to within that enclave, tell me that a lot of them are quite scared to go out now because of some of the videos that they've seen on social media, although the military has come out to debunk claims that these are recent videos. They say that they are still scared to go out. Some of them who do not have any means of going out also tell me that it is difficult because if you're traveling with a trotro, it's more difficult getting out there. But if you have your private vehicle or you have a taxi, you sit in a taxi or an Uber, it is easier. So they're saying that because they do not have any commercial, means of getting out there and it's difficult coming by the trotros, they better stay home, Emefa.
That's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba reporting from the Wejagbawe area. Let's head to the Ashanti Regional because the Military High Command says it is studying a viral video in which a civilian in Kumasi was arrested after he tried slapping a soldier. The soldier cocked his gun and ran after the young man who had been asked to do some drills. Operations Commander at the Central Command, Colonel Emmanuel Opare Nyante, says the issue will be investigated.
Yes, I've seen a similar video. The one you are talking of, I think I've seen it. The question I would have expected was to find out why that incident occurred, because it looks like there was a series of incidents and that part was only captured. Okay, I will not stand brief for whatever happens, but it is expected that in these cases there could be extremes. We are going to look at whatever happens. Those involved will be sanctioned. However, I still say that we need to comply to directives so that we don't need to get to this point. Why should a citizenry be bold enough to punch a military person?
So that's Colonel Emmanuel Opare Inyante. He is the operations commander at the Central Command. Meanwhile, the Ashanti Regional Police is calling for public support in enforcing the lockdown. The police have come under fire over alleged abuse of people who breached the lockdown rules. My colleague Ohiming Teria joins us from Kumasi. Ohiming, you've been speaking to the DCE for Efija Kwabre South, Christian Edupoku, who was allegedly assaulted by some police officers. What has he been telling you?
The District Chief Executive for Emefa Apawu South, Mr. Christian Edupoku, says about 2 days ago he met a group of police officers in a vehicle, and their number was so much that he questioned why, in the eve that we've been practicing social distancing, the vehicle was full to capacity, and this actually angered the police officers who assaulted him. But he says he has lodged official complaint with the Regional Police Command for investigation, an issue that Deputy Regional Police Commander ACP David Ajem confirmed that his office has received the complaint. And he is saying that the operation is not meant to pitch police and the military against the public.
And that this operation is not the military police against the public. It is a national one that is Ghana against COVID-19, and we must all follow the presidential instructions and obey the social distancing. And let us hope that within the 2 weeks, we may not have to extend this lockdown.
So that's the DC for Esfija there. No, my colleague Ohiming Terry has been interacting with the police on this issue. But Ohiming, tell us the situation in Kumasi as you've witnessed so far.
I must say, in some communities, the lockdown is working, but whilst in others, it is not. Currently, we are at the Abuabo area, where inside Sawaba, we've seen the police and military team patrolling the streets, but we still find quite a number of people on the streets here, as if nothing is happening here inside Sawaba, Emefa.
So that's the situation in Kumasi by my colleague Ohiming Teria. We'll stay on the police a while longer because the service has assured they will crack the whip on the officer who allegedly assaulted a 67-year-old widow in Accra on Tuesday. The woman, who only gave her name as Florence, had gone to the market to retrieve foodstuff as she had ordered for her shop. This is despite the fact that people in the food value chain were allowed to ply their trade during this restriction period. She therefore finds the assault on her by the police officer simply unjustified. She wants the law to take its course. Nancy Emefa Jadosi visited her home and now reports.
I turned, and the policeman had hit me twice with a standing broom. I started shaking uncontrollably, and the tomatoes I carried on my head fell. Marks sustained from the alleged assault are still visible. She broke down as she shared with me her worst fears. I was taken to the hospital yesterday. I was given some medicine. The pain is unbearable. I was really hurt and sad yesterday. I cried all night. I am scared this will affect my health. I don't want to die. My children are still young.
Now, Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Sheila Beye-Bachman, says investigations have commenced into the matter. She's been saying that the officer in question will face the law once identified.
It is unfortunate what happened to Madam Florence. In fact, and indeed, when we saw the video yesterday, the Inspector General of Police instructed Accra Regional Commander to locate, to find whatever evidence can be found, to locate the woman, to tell her story. And if he alleges or she points out to any of the security personnel having done that, we should follow the lead to identify the police or the security officer. And then, fortunately, later in the day, multimedia, you gave us a contact to her through the son. And so processes have already started. Fortunately, she says she can identify the officer who did that, and she claims that it is a police officer. So we know all the police officers who were detailed to duty at the point where the incident is purported to have happened.
So that's Director Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, Sheila Abeye Backman. Well, following the broadcast and the sharing of the story on social media, there have been various reactions. We'll tell you about that subsequently. But Joy Sports editor Nathaniel Atto has also been out and about following the lockdown and also how the police have stepped up, efforts to ensure that people comply. What did you witness?
Well, I drove in from Adenta. Now, at the stretch. And hotel, barricade. Okay, so it means that it cuts out everybody who's coming from the standards board to take a right turn. Okay, so when you take a right turn, there's a Y. One side takes you into Villaggio and African regions, and then the other takes you back onto the N1. Okay. That could take you either to Tema or to the Accra Mall. Now, all these cars are just there was a cesspit emptying truck that was allowed to go through on the main road. That was all I saw. Because in these times, what the standard procedure, which by we've been told, is that you stop, you show your identification, which authorizes you to be on the road at that time, and then you are either given, or not. So that's the disappointment.
Their tenants. Head of our security desk, Gifty Andrapia, joins me in studio with a copy of that statement. What does it say, Gifty?
If I read for you what it says verbatim, it says the Ghana Immigration Service urges all property owners and landlords to immediately furnish the service with information on their tenants. That's Ghanaians, March 2020. Effectively and efficiently identify such individuals tracing for the Ghana
Family while 7 is on access. Get DSTV and relive the greatest stories in sport from Ali to Zidane and more with the new Super Sport Relove.
Time now for sports on the Midday News. Benedict.
Now, Black Stars Kwisiki Akono says he's willing to give more home-based players opportunity in the national team. Now, his first call-up had 4 home-based players, Richard Alta of Accra, Kujamako of Ashanti, and then Yahya Mohammed of Indiana Stars. According to CK, more are likely to come in should they stay consistent.
It's up to the locals, honestly. We'll give them the psychologists to talk to them before they join the camp. And so the challenge is up to them. More. When I started playing, the like Manso, Senegal.
So that's the head of our health desk, First Mate. Now, 3 days ago, there were homeless headquarters on the streets of Tudu struggling to get out of Accra in time to beat the lockdown deadline. But today, their story has changed. There's more in this report.
She cannot look me in the eye as she narrates her ordeal these past few days. Tears roll down her cheeks. The attempt to go back home in the wake of restrictions imposed by the president has been full of pain and frustration.